fucking idea. Tarantula YouTube community, assemble! Right guys, so today's video is going to be mainly about myself and other YouTubers that some of you will be familiar with, some of you may not be. Don't forget, check out all these guys, there will be a link in the description, and please subscribe to every single person in this video. So let's get on with it. Today's video is going to be about how YouTubers got into the hobby. Myself, I was in the hobby, well not in the hobby, I had my first tarantula when I was about 13, 14. I'll put a picture up here of me with a tarantula, and I know what you're thinking, Backstreet Boys, very, very embarrassing photo. We'll skip forward a few years, we won't go into how many it is. And I went to Bugfest a year ago now, because Bugfest is this Saturday, so it was about a year ago, with this guy, Gav from Gav's Tarantulas. And this guy, I'll leave this video playing for a minute. Yeah, so we went to a show. I said I wasn't going to pick anything up because I know my wife hates tarantulas, spiders, creepy crawlies. On the way there, I stopped to get money for food, and the food money ended up going on a Brachypelma humore and a Lacidora parahabana. So the reason I got back into the hobby is all Gav's fault, but to be fair, cheers Gav, I've now got, I don't know, I would have to recount, I'll do a collection update soon, and I'll be picking another couple up at least from Bugfest this week. So let's get on with the videos. Remember, subscribe to everybody. Bye.
Hi guys, it's Gav from Gav Tarantulas. So what got me into the hobby was actually Al from Al's Arachnids, hearing that he had tarantulas when he was younger growing up, and I always wanted to, so it spurred me to get one. And then my first one I wanted to get was a Brazilian black, which is a Grammostola pulchra, but was hard to get, so I ended up getting a P Metallica. But this is the original one that I did want, and this is what interested me in the hobby, was the Brazilian black, mine here called Snipes.
Go and subscribe to Al's Arachnids if you're not already, which you should be, but if not, go and subscribe now. Okay, thanks Al for having me on the channel. I am indeed the Invertebrarian, and today we're going to be discussing what got us into keeping tarantulas. So this is my first ever tarantula right here, Grammostola rosea. This tiny little splodge here is actually about just around 7 years old. This was the first spider I ever got. I've always been really fascinated by spiders, arachnids and inverts, and about 7 years ago the opportunity came up for me to get my first ever one, which I seized, and I've never looked back since. So here is my first ever tarantula, and that is why I got into keeping them. I've always found them really, really interesting. So that's it. Thanks again, Al, for having us on the channel, and please do subscribe to both Al and myself. Much appreciated. Thank you very much. And yeah, on to the next one.
Hey guys, it's me, Princess Sophie Pink here. What got me into the hobby is when I was little, I was really loved creatures, and I really loved them because they're so fascinating, and I have snails. I have 12 of them, and for my 7th birthday my mum got me a tarantula, and you can see that it stuck a hole, and oh, there it is, and it put all this way right there, and he's dug a hole. He's made a little window so we can see it, and I'm really happy. We've gone from one tarantula up to 8, and we're not going to stop there. And each tarantula have their own personality. It's so fascinating, and I love them. What's most fascinating is that they shed the skin. How cool is that? That is why I love this hobby. Thanks for watching.
What's up guys, 8-Legged Diaries here. So, what got me into tarantula keeping? First and foremost, it was watching other keepers on YouTube, to be quite honest. My very first happy dance! Ah! Thank you, Wonky. That's amazing. I've never seen any of mine do a happy dance before. Oh my god. Yeah, firstly, it was watching other tarantula keepers on YouTube. Second, it was learning just how fascinating and how much diversity is between species of these amazing little creatures. I'm sorry, I'm getting overexcited about this happy dance over here. Look at that go! Oh, he stopped now. Typical. So yeah, just discovering what other people love about them, learning more about them as an animal, and that led me to now owning 22 of these wee beasties. So yeah, that's about it really. There's not much more to say. So
Arachnids in my little Eerie Arachnids corner. Joining in this great little collab. I appreciate the opportunity to be in with everybody else here. And the question posed is, what got me into tarantulas? And the answer to that is very simple: fate. It was fate that did it. I had a tarantula for 11 years. It was Grammostola, Porteri, Rosea, whatever you want to call them anymore. And it passed away. And it was like midsummer or early summer that it happened. And I didn't have any intentions of getting another one. You didn't find them around here much anyway. Well, I went to work. This was, I think it's September. And lo and behold, one showed up on the floor. It came on a skid of a return skid that came to us back at our work through Mexico to Texas. So it probably was a hitchhiker in Texas. And ended up being a Fauna palmahensi. And so the guy that caught it didn't really want it. So I went up and looked at it, told him the whole story. He's like, oh, take it home, you know. And every now and then he asks about it. But yeah, that's really what happened. It was just meant to be, I guess, that I was meant to be in this hobby, and that's why that tarantula showed up when it did. So that's really it. So I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the clips and hear some interesting stories from people. I'm looking forward to seeing the whole entire video. I hope you guys do too. So don't forget to come and see me over at Eerie Arachnids. And we'll see everybody soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Hello there, YouTube. It is your boy, Cousin Feral, Ferret the Man with Spider Leg hair. At a shop, don't worry about it. I've been asked today to feature on this and tell you how and why I got into this hobby that we love so dear. Now, I've got to go back about 6 years when I looked like this. And at that point, I added Hannah from HannahsEmpire onto Facebook. He's spoken a couple of times beforehand, got on there, wherever, that's in the past. Then, fast forward, she gets Lady Muck. Gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. She gets more and more, and I'm sitting thinking, oh, these are awesome, I want one of these myself. Then she gets Taste Whip Scorpion. I'm in love. I really am. I've fallen in love with it. So I got myself my own Damien Midas, Zed. And then watching YouTubers, as suggested by Hannah, I come across a green bottle blue. Since the green bottle blue, I got that and a K-Burner piece. And then this happened. All thanks to you, Hannah.
Hi guys, my name is Ian Tarantula. Firstly, I'd just like to thank Al for inviting me onto his channel for this collab. I much appreciate it. So the reason I got into the hobby, well, I've always been interested in exotic animals. I had a green iguana when I was back in my school days, back in the 90s. Circumstances changed, unfortunately, and I could no longer keep him, so we had to give him away. I've never had the opportunity before to keep tarantulas until recently. Luckily, I've got an understanding fiance who has let me keep them in her house. Yeah, so it's an addictive hobby. I'm up to about 30 different species now. Just a bit of a show around of all my ones I've got so far. Cheers guys.
G'day everyone, Ben the Spider Seeker here. Now I've always liked invertebrates, but I guess the passion really started, or was reinvigorated while studying for my biology degree at university, where I completed an invertebrate zoology course. In this course, I had possibly one of the most passionate and enthusiastic lecturers I've ever come across. The course involved collecting and preserving invertebrates, which also involved having to kill them for the preservation process. Now, this wasn't my favourite part, but the amount of information you could learn by looking at the preserved specimens under a microscope was absolutely incredible. It reignited a passion that I'd had as a child, and I'll always be grateful to the lecturer for this experience. After finishing my course in 2015, a bit of solo study, and keeping a few scorpions and raising a butterfly, in early 2018 I started joining a few Facebook pages, including the Australian Spider Identification page, where I met some of the most amazingly knowledgeable people with an infectious passion for spiders. Not long after that, I started keeping spiders again. So I guess it's the passion of others around me that's helped rebuild my own, and I now make use of the information I've gained access to while studying at university to effectively care for my invertebrates and help others build their own understanding wherever I can. Hopefully in doing so, I can pass on this passion to others. Thanks.
Hi, Jennifer Tarantulas here. How I got into the hobby. Last September my son decided he wanted a tarantula for his birthday. And I was like, absolutely not a chance on this earth. Scared to death of them. Couldn't even move a spider out of the bath. But it's what he really, really wanted, so we decided to go to the pet shop for some advice. And, no, we know that's a bad idea. They had these tarantulas out and they said you could stroke it if you want to. So my son did stroke, as it turns out to be Brachypelma hamori. And they let him stroke it. Idiots, but they did let him stroke it, and I thought, actually, that's really quite cute. So we went home and we spent weeks going through every YouTube channel known to man that does anything to do with spiders or tarantulas to get as much information as we could. And eventually it's like, okay, yeah, we'll do this. Contacted Spider Shop and we got our first one, which was a tiny, tiny Brachypelma alba sling. And a few months later, I've now got 40 of them. There you go.
Hi guys, I'm Psydex from Psydex Invert Kingdom. I want to start this off by saying thank you to Al for allowing me to be part of this collaboration. It's always awesome to collaborate with other YouTubers. So apparently I've got 60 seconds, 50 now, to tell you exactly how I got into this hobby. Well, let's make this a short one, because I'm running out of time already. Started off as a kid, absolutely loved tarantulas, spiders, creepy crawly snails, everything along that sort of line, reptiles as well. And was never allowed to keep them, because my family were terrified of them. So I watched YouTube instead, watched people, primarily Tarantula Dan, fell in love with his beautiful Lacidora parahybana Zelda, which hopefully you should see on the screen, otherwise I'm looking like an idiot. Then basically when I got my own house, went a bit crazy, and here we have the Invert Kingdom. So guys, that's how I got into the hobby. Hope you enjoyed this video and everyone else's stories. Subscribe to everyone in the video, show Al some love, and for now guys, I'm Psydex, you guys are awesome, peace.